Good Saturday morning. Normally don't work Saturdays during the winter time, but it's getting to that point that it is time to start working some Saturdays. As you can see behind me, got the 4230. It's got a leaky hydraulic pump, and so we're gonna take this off, take the pump off, and probably go to Worthington and get a reed manned one. But in order to get it off, we drained water out of it. As you can see, we already made a mess, or I did. Got to take the radiator off, the oil cooler, disconnect these lines, undo your hydraulic coupler, and it should come right out. One thing about this tractor, it's pretty simple to work on. There's a lot less stuff going on with it than say them big tractors, but yeah, it's starting to make a mess. It's leaking as much as you're putting in it, so it's time to replace it. And the hydraulics have been weak on it for a very long time, so that's what we're doing today. Dylan and Daddy, they're supposed to show up here in a few minutes, but I thought while I was here by myself, I could drain the water, get the hood off of it, the muffler, and take some of this stuff like this hose. Ain't just this hose, and then bolting that clamp over there on that, and it should come right out. I'm bolting your fan shroud here, and it should undo them two bolts, and it should come right out. And then we'll remove this plate, and you should be able to get down there into the meat of it. When we first looked at this project, we thought we was gonna have to remove the fuel tank here, but you don't got to on the 30 series because they got what they call an L-shaped fuel tank. Now, if it was a 40 series, they made like basically a square tank which came out and up and covered this. So a lot different design on it. And see, they moved, here's your air filter, they moved it back here on the, say, them 4640s. Look like it's 4230 gonna be fairly simple to get the pump out of. Wow, I'm gonna say a word. It's about time. Hey, y'all down to it, ain't you?
Let me interview you, Robert. How hard was it getting down to this far?
It ain't bad. Pressure washing's what it needs. God almighty, that damn thing's nasty.
If that oil, they called everything that blowed on it.
Let's get a scraper and scrape some of that off, and I'll see if I can't round up the part. I ain't never washed it. About to flop out. We'll push back on it. Oh, no. We got a lot of still back here. So hello and welcome back to the channel. What you see us working on today here, this is going to be part 2 of our hydraulic pump replacement.
This is going on a John Deere 4230 tractor. Our old pump had a bad seal right here in the end of it, and it was also bad weak. It could barely pick the loader up, barely pick anything up with the hydraulics on it. So the original pump that came in that tractor, I know the old tractor has over 8,000 hours on it. The hour meter quit working at 7,700 hours. We run it that way 2 or 3 years, and then the tag we sold it, and we bought it back at an auction because it was one of my granddad's tractors. We bought it back. They had put a new tag in it, and it had had 100 something hours on it, and we've probably put 200 hours on it. So we're probably, I don't know, we may be pushing 9,000 hours. What I'm over here working on is I have my O-ring pick set. We're going to be putting our fittings back in this new pump. It does not come with fittings, but they did sand all the appropriate O-rings for each fitting. I kind of got to get my bearings of where things go. I do know that this is the bottom of the pump, and that this is the top. This top fitting is a kind of a funky type fitting. It goes like this, and then got that bolt that screws down through the top of it, and it goes just like that. We're going to dig the O-ring out of it. You can tell it's hard. Been on there forever. We're going to try to size up the appropriate size O-ring here. For the time being, we're going to leave these fittings loose. My O-rings is old, guys. Dried up. That's that one right there. It broke instead of working its way off. I've actually put this little booger bear right here on in the tractor, and it is not easy. We had to replace a line, and the new line, the line that it subs out to is a lot bigger. So you got to screw this adapter fitting on, and it is a absolute pain in the butt to get on up there inside the tractor. So I'm just leaving that stuff loose for now, where we can adjust it when we get over there to the tractor. So got all the O-rings replaced, all the fittings where they go. So it's time to get over, get the pump mounted in the tractor, secure it up, get these fittings tightened up, and then we'll bring you back. Alright, so what I'm working on at this point in the game, it's hard to tell because the camera doesn't want to focus. But this little fitting right here that I got my finger on, this little black line goes to one side of it, and then that black line right there goes on the other side of it. And when you get this pump mounted, there's just not hardly any room below this pump and this fitting, so it makes it very, very hard to get this line on. So I've got this pump kind of cocked to the side. I've just tightened this fitting up, put these lines on, and then at that point we will mount our pump up. It mounts up with 4 bolts. And then we can turn our fittings how they need to be turned to hook up our hydraulic lines, and then we'll go from there. Even with the pump loose, it's a witch to get in there and try to get everything tight. I hate it when a fitting is really too loose to turn with the wrench, but you can't get your fingers on it to turn it. Now we got this adapter fitting. was expecting that to be hard. We must be forgetting something. Pick up on the back a little. Look at that. Look at that. Alright, let's get them two snugged up and then we'll start the bottom bolts. What was that, 3/4? 3/4, I think. These other two should line right up. It don't always work that way, but tell you what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna screw that fitting out. And I can get right in there too, man. This is where longer fingers would be advantageous. We're gonna kinda get to a stopping point, guys, because we were supposed to get a fan belt for this tractor and we forgot. Oh no, we might accidentally have a fan belt on the shelf for it. That is Dylan feet-pound of torque right there. I use a lot of O-ring fittings in places like this so that you can get this fitting position, and then you can take these nuts with the O-rings on them and lock them down. That way you can turn this fitting to line up with your lines. So that's why they use these. They're not really funky fittings, but it helps you out in the long run. Now we got that locked down, we should be able to finish tightening this line without our fitting moving. Alright, that's torque to Dylan torque. Get this one torqued to Dylan torque. I mean, it's an O-ring fit and you ain't just got to shower down on it, but it needs to be tight. Well, we'll recreate changing the belt for you. Because I forgot to hit record, but we had a belt on the shelf. What's the chances in that? Every now and then the stars align for the old Joyce brothers. I'm sure we'll find something else that stops us though. Before you could grab this fan and turn it with your hand, and now you can't, which is the way it's supposed to be. Now we are ready for your coupling. We gotta go over here and find a bolt for it though. I always try to pull them up evenly. make sure everybody sees my beautiful hands. I about got all the skin grew back on my knuckles. It's time to knock some more hide off my knuckles again. And I know y'all gonna say wear gloves, but
Can't do nothing in gloves.
you can't do nothing in gloves. I mean, you can do it, but it's just, it's darn aggravating, especially like trying to put them fittings on where you gotta do a lot of feeling. Alright, I'll give you the ratchet and then I'll take the wrench and hold the bolt head where it don't back off. Y'all gotta take a wrench and hold this bolt head or it'll, when you're doing your lock nut, it'll back your bolt off. Hold up, let me tie it. Alright, now snug it. Alright. Alright. You know where there it is. If you're new to the channel, be sure to check out our shop series. We got a lot of videos where we work on all these old tractors. Go to my home page by clicking my name down below the video. It'll take you to my home page. Click on playlist and scroll down till you see shop work. And we got a whole bunch of videos working on these old tractors. Planters, combines. Got a whole video made on how to change these fan belts. Got a video on changing an axle housing on a 4650. So if you like shop work, we got videos for you.
More to come.
And
more to come.
And more to come. We are not mechanics by trade. We're just farmers that do most of our own repairs.
Seems like that's all we do, mechanics, though.
Yeah, we do more mechanicing than we do farming, really. I'm lazy, guys. I don't want to get up. I don't want to get down there on the dirty floor and depending on the situation, a pipe wrench can be the best tool in the world or it can be the worst tool in the world. But that kept me from having to crawl under that tractor and tie that last bolt up. Tighten that last bolt up. We're gonna have to put some ballast back on the tractor, meaning weight, cause I bet we pulled 100 pounds of dirt off this tractor where this old pump been leaking over the years. We keep them old big tractors washed up. I don't know if we've ever washed this old tractor. Daddy keeps it pretty busy year round. It ain't like the other tractors. They get a break in the winter. This one, it probably runs as much in the winter or more than it does in the summertime. We had this radiator out. Robert got out there and we got some radiator cleaner stuff. He sprayed in there and washed that thing out really well. Because with that pump leaking, it sucked a lot of oil up through the radiator, and that oil attracts dirt. And it stopped the radiator out pretty quick. He showed it a while ago there, and you can see daylight through it coming through. So should be good to go. I'm gonna set this fan shroud up there, and then we're gonna set a radiator on. Well, we didn't bring you along for some of the later things. It was mostly just we got the radiator out there, a few hoses, putting some brackets back on, air intake back on. So we're gonna fire this old honky up and see if hydraulic oil doesn't work. Whoa. Listen to this, boys. We need a straight pipe. Well, I've been around this old tractor all my life, and I've never known it not to leak oil out of the front end. So, but for 30 seconds in its life, it hasn't leaked oil. And I know it's got oil in it because I poured some in it. That steering acted a whole lot faster. And when you picked up on the 3-point, it actually acted like it loaded the engine up a little bit. And then it didn't chatter. It didn't chatter up. So if you like this video, give us the old thumbs up. We appreciate it. Like it, share it, subscribe to the channel, and go out there and get your hands dirty and do something. We'll catch you on the next one.